Because I already know, I can tell, but this is a nice looking group, very smart, going to show me some great services. But what I'm looking for is someone that I can trust. I'm talking to some other firms, so convince me that I can trust you more than any other firm that comes in here. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Good. I'm going to sit down and be quiet. Let's do that.
Well, first of all, I just want to take the time to thank you once again for inviting us to this meeting. We completely understand what you're going through at Amigo. I've been with PwC for a little under 20 years now, and I've experienced with working with individuals such as yourself and their successful startups as well. We know that with your increased research development projects and your high growth and your increased presence in the global market, that you have been experiencing you have been in a place in a very successful position within the social media industry. And as a result, you're looking for a more broad range of services that can better align with your strategic goals. Now, we believe that at PwC, we can help you achieve those goals by working together with you and your company and place you in an extremely competitive advantage within your industry. And to better illustrate that, Kevin Guice is going to talk to you a little bit more about who Kevin Guice is the Vice President of Social Business Strategy for our newly acquisition company, Anti-View Consulting, and he's going to elaborate a little bit more about what they do and how we can help you as help you together as a firm.
Good.
Thanks, Jonathan. Well, as Jonathan said, I was the VP for Social Business Strategy for Anti-View, which was acquired by PwC in 2012 through acquisition. And working in social media consulting, which is what I've been doing for the past 5 years, I know the true importance of understanding customer preference and understanding how customers will implement products into their everyday lives. I think that we can use my expertise in that area to leverage to add value to your company. I understand that your company is thinking about the new implementation of the new 3D Amigo technology. Yeah, I understand just looking at what you sent over in the RFP, it looks like a great technology. I want to commend you first on such a great technology, and I think that we're all excited, and I know you guys are, that it could be a great success in that market. But I want to highlight something that I think is very important. In order to really understand the implementation that they could have in the market and its true value, it's going to be important to understand how customers will use it and how customers will implement it in their everyday lives. And I want to highlight 3 things for you that I think PwC can add value for in that area. So the first thing that we can do in the social media consulting sphere for you is to really do a competitive market analysis for you. Help you understand what competition is out there in the 3D platform so we can better release the timing expectations for the 3D Amigo in the marketplace. I think that's really key in having a great implementation of 3D technology. Second thing I want to point out is my expertise, my personal background, is help you understand a full customer analysis of your consumers that will be using this 3D technology. What age group will be using it? What time of day these people will be using this product? And how will they implement this product into their everyday lives? And last but not least, we can also offer you a full IT infrastructure to better assess the security risks with the implementation of the 3D into your current business process. So I'm very excited about this. This is what I do at Anti-View, and with coming with the PwC team. When they asked me about this, I was so excited. I think it'll be great. And I think that my team working with your team, we can really, really, really have a great success with implementing the new 3D technology.
Good. So can you give me an example of a recent success that you've had working with a firm and their technology?
Yeah, definitely. I can give you a recent success. So Anti-View was acquired by PwC in 2012. But prior to 2012, we were an independent startup company, and we worked with companies from Microsoft to Google all the way up through LinkedIn. So one thing we did for LinkedIn was thinking about charging a fee to help implement the products that they wanted to service. So we were able to tell LinkedIn what age group would be using this product, how they would implement this product, and they were better able to implement that strategy of knowing how customers would respond to that. Okay. So really customer response rate, how they use the products, is what you're going to have when you go to the table.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Kevin.
And right now I'm going to pass it over to Matt, who's going to tell you another strategic goal that we have.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. So I've been with PwC since 2003 in the private companies group, and I'm a manager of audit in the private companies group. So I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of private companies that are experiencing similar growth and are getting to the point where it's time to consider an IPO. I think that every member of our team here has had, whether it be audit or tax, they've had a lot of experience with growing companies as well. And specifically, though, over the years, I've seen that sometimes entrepreneurs and founders, they get a little uneasy about the rapid growth and drastic changes that are happening. And I want you to know that PwC is here to support you through that transition, through the entire growth process and considering an IPO. And if you decide to go that route, helping you through it. And the ways we kind of do that is, early on we want to meet with you and all the levels of management establish your long-term growth goals and really decide, is an IPO what you want? And if it is, then we're going to start making a unique plan for you. And at the same time, we're going to have our firm's research experts start researching the industry to really structure and find that window of opportunity that's going to maximize your IPO's value. So, taking your long-term goals and our dedicated research, we're going to make a unique plan for Amigo to really plan out our growth, whether it be an IPO or just continue growing like in the private setting.
Now, what's the one big mistake that most companies make launching an IPO?
I think in my experience it's been the timing, and that's something that PwC, we really pride ourselves on, is the market research we do and timing the IPO correctly in the right quarter, in the right economic trends is really a big difference. So
Good.
I'm gonna let Gabby talk about how PwC identifies and assesses risk.
Okay.
My name is Gabrielle Gulledge. I started with PwC in 2001, just to give you a little background on me. So I am a senior manager in our ITPA practice, so in our risk practice. So what I really wanted to emphasize was the idea of strategizing risk for Amigo around our systems. And when you look at the marketplace, you look at the industry, there have been some issues with other companies in this industry with risk around their systems, specifically that private user information has been accessed when it's not supposed to be. And especially when you're developing this new technology, you want to make sure that the risks are mitigated and that you have a proper strategy in place to protect user information. It builds trust with your end users, and it builds their confidence and their want to use your social media platforms. So PwC would like to help you with that. We want to help you avoid the mistakes that other companies have made, and we want to make sure that you have the most protection and have the best strategy in place to protect your systems.
Gabrielle, my attorneys are now telling me that I am really opening myself up to litigation with all this customer data that I'm starting to collect. And if I grow, especially internationally,
Yeah, exactly.
keep me awake at night.
Exactly. And so we want to help you. We want you to be able to sleep at night. We don't want you to have that fear that your private client information can be accessed by a hacker anywhere in the world. So that's what we really want to do, and that's where I think that my experience, having started in this firm, been here for 12 years, and experienced a variety of companies in the technology field as well, we want to just make sure that we help you as best we can.
Good. Yeah.
So now I pass it over to Sophie, and she will talk about tax.
All right.
Hi, I'm the tax senior manager in PwC. I've been working for this big family for over 10 years. I did a 4-year rotation to Hong Kong office as an international tax advisor. Our tax team is comprised of dedicated professionals around the world. We understand that in today's evolving business world, the global tax compliance is becoming increasingly complex. So our international tax professionals will provide tax planning and compliance services. We will anticipate and study both the short-term and long-term tax consequences at a global level. We will provide you a worldwide tax summary, which will be written by our local tax professionals in Hong Kong, Mumbai, Santiago, and the United States. We will also include a convention model, which is very helpful in determining the tax impacts on IFRS convention and any potential tax accounting issues.
Okay. So bottom line, are you going to save me some money?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I can get that in writing, right?
I will pass to Adam to introduce the audit service.
Okay.
Hi Neil, my name is Adam. I'm a senior associate of private company services focused in audit.
Yeah.
When we take on new clients from the engagement, from an audit engagement perspective, we really have two goals. Really, we want to streamline the audit services from your current auditor to us as seamlessly as possible. We also want to deliver to you excellent service throughout the entire process. So communication is paramount. From the very beginning, we, in order to achieve those goals, we are very, we send our team to your team, and we go through an exhaustive process in getting to understand your business and your business model, so we can then plan an audit. And we understand that your time is valuable and your audit and your staff's time is valuable. So what we want to do is to minimize the amount of time that we are asking you to interact with us. We have to get things done on the front end, and so we do an exhaustive process there. Our audit consists of 5 phases. There's the planning, there's risk assessment, there's audit strategy and plan, there's the actual data gathering, and then there's finalization. I understand that you have some international operations, and it's my expertise. Actually, prior to joining PwC, I spent 7 years in a startup company that had international operations, and it was my job to make sure that they were in full compliance with all international regulations and accounting standards. So I will do that for you as part of the audit. And then also, moving forward, we have presence in 158 countries. So if you were to expand, we will be able to accommodate you.
Okay.
Neil, we completely understand that this is not an easy transition for you. You know, you didn't invite us to this meeting because you want to. It's because you need to in order to better meet those long-term strategic goals. You know, switching providers isn't easy, you know, especially when you were happy with the work that you were already getting. It's like getting to a place where you were comfortable, and now you have to start all over from the bottom again. And I can tell you that one of the things that is even more difficult is reestablishing what you said, that trust that's important to every single relationship. And at PwC, we're willing and we can't wait to rebuild that trust with you. So you can look beyond all the things that we can do for you and just get to the one thing that we can do with you, which is establish a long-lasting relationship based on the fundamental principles of trust and loyalty.
Oh, very good.